The signature. When my grandson Ethan came to visit that afternoon, he carried a leather folder instead of his usual smile and jokes. Grandma, he said gently, placing the papers on my kitchen table. It's just a formality. If you transfer the house to Dad now, it'll avoid taxes later. It's smart estate planning. I poured tea and adjusted my glasses. At 72, I've learned something important. If someone says, it's just paperwork, read it twice. I opened the document and read slowly. The language was formal, polished, official, but by the third page, I understood. This wasn't a tax saving strategy. It was a full transfer of ownership. Immediate, complete, irrevocable. If I signed it, the house would legally belong to my son, not after my death. Now, the house my husband and I bought 40 years ago, the house where my children grew up, the house I paid off with sacrifice and careful budgeting after he passed away. I closed the folder gently. No, I said. Ethan looked surprised. But Grandma, Dad said it's normal. I don't sign what I don't fully agree with. The next day, my son Mark came over. You don't trust us? He asked, clearly hurt. I looked at him calmly. I trust paper, I replied. Paper doesn't get emotional. Paper doesn't change meaning later. Paper says exactly what it says. He insisted it was just planning for the future. I told him I would speak to an attorney before making any decision. And I did. 2 days later, I sat in the office of a lawyer. I handed her the document. She read it carefully and then looked at me. If you sign this, she said, you immediately lose ownership. Your son would legally control the property. He could sell it. You would have no protection unless he allowed you to stay. I nodded slowly. That's what I thought. She explained that if I wanted to plan properly, I could create a living trust instead. With the living trust, I would remain in control. The house would transfer smoothly after my death. I could set clear conditions. I could revoke it anytime. That sounded like planning, not surrendering. So I created one. We added clear terms. If I am pressured, I can revoke it. If I am disrespected, it can be changed. During my lifetime, I remain the sole decision maker. I signed that document with confidence. That Sunday at family dinner, something had changed. My son pulled out my chair. My grandson refilled my water. Everyone was very polite. Mark cleared his throat. You talked to a lawyer? Yes, I said. I created a trust. I remain in control. Silence. Then a small nod. No arguments. Because this wasn't about mistrust. It was about clarity. Later that night, I sat alone in my living room. The walls still held memories of my husband's laughter and my children's childhood. This house wasn't just property, it was dignity, security, independence. I realized something important. Sometimes family doesn't mean harm. Sometimes they simply grow comfortable with what they assume will one day be theirs. Comfort turns into expectation. Expectation turns into entitlement. And entitlement quietly asks for your signature. But love should never rush you. And respect should never depend on surrender. Sometimes the most powerful word a woman can say, calmly, firmly, without anger, is no. And sometimes love grows stronger when entitlement shrinks.